Yes, it's time for you to join our Serenade in Blue, brought to you by men who wear the Air Force blue. Baritone soloist Sergeant Bill Jones, the singing sergeants under the direction of Lieutenant Robert Landers, and the Air Force Symphony Orchestra, Colonel George S. Howard, conductor. As your announcer, Captain Cass Bielski, I'll be telling you later how you, too, can get into the Air Force blue. But now, here's the orchestra, conducted this program by Captain John Yasolitis, getting our show off to a fast start with Mimi. The Air Force Symphony Orchestra and Mimi. Now I'd like to ask our baritone soloist, Sergeant Bill Jones, to step in here beside me. Bill, I see we have a number from Oklahoma coming up in the music rack, and that strikes a familiar chord with you, doesn't it?
It certainly does, Captain Bielski. You see, I played the lead in Oklahoma a short time ago. It's a great show with a lot of fine music.
Well, let's turn our Serenade in Blue stage into an Oklahoma set for a moment. The curtain's up, you're on stage singing. People will say we're in love.
Don't throw bouquets at me. Don't please my folks too much. Don't laugh at my jokes too much. Will say we're in love. Don't sigh and gaze at me. Your sighs are so like mine. Your eyes mustn't glow like mine. Say we're in love. Don't dance all night with me till the stars fade from above. Sweetheart, they're suspecting things. People say we're in from above. suspecting things. People will say we're in love.
We'll be back with the musical portion of Serenade in Blue in just a few moments. But first, I'd like to have a few words with the young men in our audience. An airplane overhead is a pretty familiar sight these days. Yet I've noticed, and I suppose you have too, that people never fail to stop and watch as it flies by. Aviation is a fascinating business, and all of you at one time or another have dreamed of taking to the air. But why dream when the opportunity is as near as your nearest recruiting station? The Aviation Cadet Program of the United States Air Force is now wide open. Why not check your qualifications to join? Here's a young fellow who did. Listen to what he has to say.
I am Aviation Cadet Captain Robert Trzynski. Not so long ago, I was attending the University of Detroit, where I majored in aeronautical engineering. That was before I chose to apply for pilot training as an aviation cadet in the United States Air Force. Now I'm learning to fly, something I've always wanted to do. To anyone who may be considering the same course, I can offer only encouragement. As an aviation cadet, you will be taught to fly the best aircraft by the best instructors and be given a complete background in ground school where all related subjects such as weather, navigation, and radio are covered. Believe me when I say you will be proud to be a member of the Aviation Cadet Program.
The voice you just heard was the actual recorded voice of an aviation cadet. Here's a young man with an eye to the future. He no longer dreams of a career in aviation. He's actually a part of it. When he wins his wings, he will take his place on the Air Force team. Proud? You bet he is. He's wearing the Air Force blue.
Here's a toast to the host of those we boast.
We continue Serenade in Blue now as the singing sergeants take over our stage. And here is their director, Lieutenant Robert Landers. Bob?
During the war years and shortly after the shooting stopped, the trend in popular music leaned toward the theme of home and the girl who waited there. However, when 1949 rolled around, there was a definite change. The American love for travel once again found its way into music. A good example is the number we'd like to do for you now, Faraway Places.
Faraway places with strange sounding names, far away over the sea. Those faraway places with a strange sounding names are calling me. Going to China or maybe Siam, I wanna see for myself.
Symphony Orchestra, 95 strong, climaxes this edition of Serenade in Blue with a composition from south of the border. Captain Yesulitis conducts Negra Consentido. Air Force Base in Washington, this has been your all-airman show, Serenade in Blue, produced, performed, and transcribed by personnel of the United States Air Force. This program was produced by Lieutenant Colonel Robert Kine, written and directed by Major Mark D. Miranda. Featured the Air Force Symphony Orchestra, conducted this program by Captain John Yesulitis, baritone soloist Sergeant Bill Jones, and the singing sergeants, Lieutenant Robert Landers, director. Your announcer is Captain Cass Bielski. Remember, the sooner you apply, the sooner you'll fly as an aviation cadet in the United States Air Force. Visit your nearest United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting station without delay. Time for Serenade in Blue was made available by the station to which you are listening as a public service.